and welcome to the Cancer Journey podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sherry Ann.
So let's start with our pest check-in. I'll start today.
Okay.
So physically, I am an 8.5. Emotionally, I'm an 8.75. Spiritually, I'm a 7.75. And hope is an 8.25. And my word is grounded.
Okay. Physically, I'm a 6. Emotionally, I'm a 6.5. Spirit, 7.2. Hope, 9.2. And my word is grumpy. You're grounded and I'm grumpy.
Yes, and you get to feel grumpy. So today we want to talk about kind of that space of being grumpy or just not feeling 100%. I don't know anyone who feels 100% all the time, and nor should we. So we wanted to talk about what it is to give yourself some grace.
Yes. Just be gentle with yourself. And I'm trying to be gentle with myself. And while it's like I didn't get up and go, yay, I get to record podcast. I'm still here, and it's not because I'm forcing myself. I mean, I enjoy this, and it's just not a great day today. I'm feeling physically poopy, and that brings down my emotion, and it causes emotions like over responsibility or that just that grumpiness. It's like I don't wanna. And so I'm just gonna be here in I don't wanna.
Yeah. What do you want?
Quiet. Space. Gentleness. Yeah. What do you want?
I think right now I'm not in such a gloomy space personally. But I mean, obviously I can very much relate. I'm definitely never truly 100%. There's always going to be some percentage that I'm like not fully in it. And I think that there have been times over the last few weeks when I've been like, I just don't want to. And that's like, I think that is the biggest kind of encapsulation of like, that feeling. It's not that I can't, it's just that I don't want to.
Right.
And I think that I personally have been really lucky and fortunate over, the past weekend and even the past week to get just like a little bit of space or have something that's a little bit different to be able to show up now grounded. And I got to have some time to just do things that like I didn't have a timeline to do. And that was really satisfying and really necessary for my soul because all of the feelings of I don't want to have kind of subsided a little bit and been more and are now showing up more like I don't want to, but I can and I will. And I do have the energy to do it now.
Right. Well, and okay, that just kind of helps my hopefulness of really refocusing on me, because that's what I heard you say. It's like I got to fill my cup, and the I don't want to means that my cup is kind of empty right now. And instead of being there for everyone else, that I need to be there for me as much as my responsibility wants me to be there for everybody else. So I'm going to not cancel my day. I am going to choose really carefully and then create space for me. And I'm just thinking now of 2 meetings that I'm just going to reschedule because I need to take care of me. And
Yeah.
so as I'm saying this, I'm just trying it on and it feels right. And it really feels like a gift to me
Mhm.
versus
Yeah.
I'm just, it's not angry or anything like that. It's just like I'm having a day where I need more care and I'm going to give that to myself. And I'm not going to be mad at anybody and I'm not going to feel like I have to explain myself. It's just I need to reschedule.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree. And the part where you said that you're not doing it out of anger, I think it's so important to note that because it's easy for us to do things because we're resentful or because we have to. And so they come from this place of anger instead of this place of really making the choice because you want it. You're doing it because you feel like you have to. And then that breeds more resentment, right? And then we don't do anything for anyone ever. And so I think it's so important that you're choosing to care for yourself because as much as it'd be nice to, say like, I want someone else to care for me, I want someone else to do it, no one knows what you need like you do. And no one can give you that space or really like take that space for you. Like you have to do it for yourself. Other people can be like, they can come in and be like, "Oh, how can I help? How can I do this for you?" And it's almost like even them just doing that, you're like, "That is too much. Actually, I need you to just like shh, just go away."
Right. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sitting here thinking, I don't want anybody really in my space because I need that quiet too. So what's going on is like my head hurts and I'm dizzy and I'm just not feeling myself and right. But that's not a reason to be angry. It's a reason
Mhm.
to say I just need something different.
Mhm.
And having someone come and say, I'll help or I'll do this. I don't even feel social. So this is as social as I'm going to get. And I know that I have positivity always underneath lifting me, but it's more of this quiet, just hang by yourself and be, not being social and not doing for others. It's just, I like when you went this, shh. That's what it feels like. It's a shh day.
Yeah. Yeah. I so hear that and I think that so many people who are experiencing cancer as a patient, but even as at any point in your life. Like right now, you and I are not experiencing that at this moment, but being a patient, I think that you can be extra depleted from everything you're
Hmm.
going through physically, emotionally, spiritually. There's such a constant battle going on with all of those things. And so the exhaustion is, I'm sure, very frequent. And you can have people in your life who really want to care for you, your caregivers, your family, your friends, and it's like, yeah, but I need a shh kind of day.
Right,
Like,
right.
just leave me alone a little bit. And it's good to know that you have your people there, and I think everyone wants and should have that community, but that doesn't mean that you need them all the time. You're still an individual person with your own individual needs, and you need to be able to have a day where it's like, I'm just don't feel good. My energy is really low. I'm just angry. It doesn't even matter if it's like there's nothing that you're angry specifically at. You can just be angry. You're like, I just want to hold this energy with me and I want to release it in my own ways, whether that's something creative or journaling or screaming into a pillow or rotting on a beach somewhere and just like doing nothing. Just sitting doing nothing, maybe doing some breathing exercises for yourself. um I think that's a huge gift, like you said, that everyone deserves. And even caregivers, I think that they can get really exhausted from the responsibility that they have over and over and over with their own lives, with their beloved's life, that we all just need a little break.
Yeah. I mean, so what came up for me is, okay, my favorite word, right? Permission. And then the second one is that we keep saying angry. I'm not angry right now, but I could see how anger can be triggered by, oh, I have so much stuff to do. I don't want to feel this way. So being angry at how my body is being in this moment. Like, why are you like this? Or trying to overrun it with, oh, I'll just, I'll go find some drugs. Aleve tends to be my favorite when it comes to headaches, but it's like, let me just make this go away versus being with the fact that I'm just not feeling my normal self, which is energized and
Mhm.
motivated, but just active. And it's like, I, I don't think I can medicate this dizziness, vertigo-ish feeling away. It's just saying, no,
Mhm.
not doing any of that stuff that you have on your schedule. Let's let's do something else. Let's
Yeah.
let's have that shh day.
Yeah. And that's so human to give yourself that, We're not machines. We can't constantly run on a specific schedule. Like there's so much more than goes on than just the doing of those things. So I think it's like really important that we are flexible in how we need to show up and asking for what we need. Um
Hmm.
yeah, it's so important to be able to find that space before it turns into something else, right? Like, it kind of reminds me how we say that, like, sometimes when you start to get sick, it's because your body is, like, shutting down
Right.
because it's telling
Right.
you, "You need a break." And I think that, this can kind of manifest in a similar way, um, albeit much more mild, so we'll take that, but still, it's a message nonetheless, and an invitation
Right.
to make a different choice.
Right. 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 It's the pre. It's the pre. So
Yes.
it's like, okay, I'm at choice point because I have
Mhm.
a full day and I'm thinking of another appointment that I probably should just reschedule. Even though, so where my mind goes, and maybe this is for our audience too, is like, well, who am I letting down? Who has,
Mhm.
planned their schedule around this particular meeting, and I'm just going to go, oops, not feeling right today. Got to change that. And I need to be okay with that. Oof.
Yeah.
Again, I'm really wrestling with my level of responsibility, my level of, it's not even FOMO. It's like, I said I would do something. I need to show up.
Mhm.
And then there's that pre that we're just talking about. Like, is this the messenger that says we're at an inflection point? You either take the time or you don't. And what could happen
Right.
because of it?
Yeah. And that's when it becomes really hard too, right? I love that you bring that up, and I think it's super, super important because that weighs heavily on, I think, almost everyone's shoulders. Who am I letting down?
Hmm.
Um, and like what immediately comes to mind is like, oh yeah, like I'm affecting someone else's schedule or someone else's life, but also like, well, aren't you kind of letting yourself down if you
Hmm.
don't ask for what you need? And you can still remain flexible, you can go to cancel, or you can also just say like, I am not feeling so great. I will not be able to show up 100%, like I still have that time carved out for you and I would like to still show up for you, but the way I show up right now, if we do this today, is not going to be my fullest self. And I really would love to have a better experience than that. I really want this to be a better situation than just showing up angry. Showing up angry, I personally think is like never really the greatest place to be to give everyone the best of you. Um and can leave other people being like, oh, did I do something wrong? Why was it like that? I think it tends to be in everyone else's service that we show up in the best way we can, but sometimes it's like you have a shift at work, you have to go to that shift at work, and otherwise you literally would let everyone down, say you're the only one there, you're the only one who can open up the business or whatever it is. That's when I think the communication becomes really important.
Yes. See, that's what I was just thinking as you were saying that, because we do need to show up sometimes and we do have responsibilities. And I think you're very helpful in teaching or exacerbating the lesson here. Not exacerbating, that's not the word that I want, but I can't think of another word. Brain's not working. Um, Underscoring, whatever, the need to say, I'm here, but I'm not 100%.
Mhm.
And so please know that I'm either more sensitive or I'm delicate or I don't have the same bandwidth. I may be not as conversational. So you might want the person who normally shows up, but today I'm just a little off. So can
Mhm.
you give me some grace as I give myself some grace?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think that really levels that playing field too, right? Because then they know where you're at, you know where you're at, um, and then you can kind of work together to be however you need to be in that moment. It's like we did today. Like I knew you weren't feeling 100% and I was still like, I think we should still record a podcast and we're going to be able to tailor it to what you really need right now. Because I wouldn't want you to show up and fake it. And I think that's what's really important about this podcast to me is that it is real. It's so real in what we're experiencing, and even when you don't feel like you want to do anything, um, we get to flex for whatever you need in that moment, and still get what we need out of it.
Right. And for me, I actually needed this conversation because it's too easy for me to stay in my head and have that pro con.
Hmm.
Oh, you should do it. You need to show up. No, you can't because you just feel like crap. And I know that that lives in all of us. Just like the can what I can control and what I cannot control. It's like the pros and the cons.
Hmm.
And just saying it out loud and being real and honest, it's like it gives I'm giving myself that leeway to just understand what I really need
Hmm.
and and then lean into that and go, okay, let me try that on in my head. I'm going to just as much as I can move everything aside, and for those that I can't, just let them know I'm not on my game. Please don't expect a lot of conversation or whatever. And then how did that feel? And it felt really good to
Good.
communicate and
Hmm.
then to do what I need to do. I did talk to the dogs. They still need a walk, but we're going to compromise them and I so that they can get what they need and I get what I need.
Yeah. Compromise, yeah. That's a really great word too. And I think that a lot of this is so in service of people who are heading toward burnout. It's
Yes.
how
And
you
I'm not
circumvent burnout.
right, right. This is not where I'm heading, not where I want to head. That could also be the pre, right? The pre
Mhm.
whatever, pre burnout, pre sickness, pre fight, right? Because
Mhm.
if I
Yeah.
keep going on this, depleting myself and letting myself be depleted, then I know that warrior, this warrior, comes
Mhm.
out, and it's like, well, that's not fun for anybody.
Right, right. Because it leads to like negative interactions with people who mean you may be very well meaning, but you might accidentally take some of it out on them, and it leaves them
Right,
like, why is it like this? Or they fight back, and there's just so much that can come out of it when it can be left out of those relationships and those connections. Um,
right.
Especially if you're showing up to like a work thing and you're like pissed off and you just have that energy and you're just like bare minimum, and maybe you're like going into like a meeting and you're being really quiet because you're reserving your own energy and you're like, I'm taking care of me, but we haven't communicated that with the room. And so then people are like, what's going on over there? Because they'll sense your energy, they'll sense that you're pulling back, and they'll wonder if they did something wrong or
Right.
what's going on there. And so if you're just like, nope. Ooh, it's that arms crossed, like building your barrier thing which I will always notice when people cross their arms. I'm just like, we built a wall. Um, and
Right. And it probably and in this situation has nothing to do with anybody.
right,
Just me. And I
right,
feel crappy. So
right.
I'm taking care of myself, but it has impact when I push myself into situations where I can't bring the best of it or 100%. So
Hmm.
communicating that is the key. It's not, okay, so then don't show up ever when you're not 100%. It really like talk, have the conversation. Let them
Yeah.
know. So then nobody has to try to take on my okayness. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
what's wrong with her? Let's go see if I can make it better. No, you can't.
Right. Or triggering someone else's like negative ego, like maybe they've had people who acted that way and it was their fault. And so they're immediately triggered back to that, like, I did something
Right,
wrong.
right,
Or, yeah, which I know there's a lot of thought on the other as well. And it's hard for a lot of people to think about how all these like micro interactions and like affect relationships, but they do. And I mean, I don't think they like no one really wants that. No one wants to put that into relationships with people they care about, or maybe they're just starting to get to know. And that is when the communication gets to be so important. But the communication is also part of giving yourself the grace, right? Like
right.
by communicating it, you're giving yourself permission.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so helpful for me.
Yeah. So what's your takeaway in word?
My takeaway is that it's not selfish, it's self-caring to know how I'm feeling. So passion is really important
Mm-hmm.
and what I need. And then communicating that to others so that I'm not taking care of them, but that it's clear. There's clarity.
Mm-hmm.
And my word is clarity. How
I
about
love
you?
that you I love that you brought up Pesh because I was also going to bring up Pesh. I was like, I don't know if we'll have time. But yeah, that this whole conversation made me like getting that snapshot, that check-in of where people are, knowing that I was feeling grounded and you're feeling grumpy was so important to know how, you move forward, and that in itself is some prime communication. So I think that awareness and the impact is really what I'm taking away from giving yourself grace, because no one knows what's going on in here until you share it. So, yeah. And my word, I want to say my word is grace, but I feel like that's what this whole thing's been about. My my word
So it
is
can
grace,
be.
though. That yeah, like it is grace, though.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for not making me, but inviting me to still record today. And thanks for letting me be real and raw as always.
Yeah. That's the only way we want you. We don't want you fake and
Nor
cooked.
you or anybody. So let's be real today. Yay! Oh my God,
Thank
there the positivity just came out.
It's okay. And that's real. It was so authentic. You don't have to judge it. That's just you.
There we go. There we go.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for experiencing us real and how we were showing up today.
Have a lovely day.
Bye for now.